We're often told that some people are just born mentally strong. But what if that's not the whole story? Today, we're going to look at mental strength not as some fixed trait, but as a skill that anyone, and I mean anyone, can build. We're going to break down the 3 core habits that can absolutely change the game.
I mean, let's be real. We live in a world that is constantly throwing challenges our way. So how does some people seem to handle all that pressure with grace while others just crumble? Is there some kind of secret they know? Well, it turns out it's less of a secret and way more about a daily practice.
Okay, so first things first, what are we even talking about when we say mental strength? It's not about being emotionless or like a robot, not at all. It's really the ability to regulate your emotions, manage your thoughts, and act in a positive way even when things get tough. And here's the most important part. It's a skill you can build. Think of it like a muscle or a toolkit for your mind.
All right, let's dive into our first core habit. This one is huge. It's a fundamental shift in your mindset, moving from just reacting to life to consciously responding to it. This is where it all begins.
So what's the real difference here? Well, reacting is that knee-jerk, impulsive, emotional outburst, It's when you let whatever is happening outside of you take control. Responding, though, that's different. It's thoughtful. It's calm. It's guided by your internal values, not just what's happening to you. One almost always leads to regret, while the other, it just leads to better outcomes, period.
So how do you actually do this? It's actually a pretty simple 3-step process. First, when something happens that triggers you, just pause. Seriously, take 1 deep breath. That little space you create is everything. Second, acknowledge the emotion you're feeling. It's okay to be angry or frustrated. Just name it. Okay, I'm feeling angry. And finally, you get to choose a positive, constructive response. That choice right there, that's your power.
Okay, let's move on to our second habit, which builds right on top of the first. This is what I like to call the art of calm. And trust me, it really is an art form. This isn't about being passive, it's about being in control.
Now, I want you to pay attention to that wording, the art of staying calm. They use that word for a reason. Art implies skill, it implies practice, it implies mastery over time. Mentally strong people actively cultivate this ability to stay centered when all hell is breaking loose. It's kind of like their superpower.
But why does being calm matter so much? Well, for one, your brain just works better. When you're calm, you think more clearly, which means you make way better decisions. It also dials down your stress levels and saves all that precious mental energy for the stuff that actually matters.
And that brings us to our third and final habit. This one is all about where you put your focus. It's about understanding who your real competition is. And honestly, the answer might surprise you.
Look, we live in a world that's constantly pushing us to compare ourselves to others, our careers, our lives, our successes, you name it. But focusing on competing with other people, that's a race with no finish line. It's a guaranteed source of stress and dissatisfaction because there will always be someone ahead of you. It is the wrong game to be playing.
But mentally strong people, they understand this is a trap. So they shift their focus inward. Their only real competition is the person they were yesterday. See, the goal isn't to be better than everyone else. The goal is just to be a little bit better, a little wiser, a little stronger than you were before. Now that is a game you can always win.
So there you have it, 3 incredibly powerful habits. Let's do a quick recap of this mental strength toolkit that you can literally start building today.
When you boil it all down, it comes back to these 3 core habits. Respond, don't react. Cultivate the art of calm. And compete only with yourself. 3 simple, practical tools to build your resilience and strength.
Think of these 3 habits as tools in your mental workshop. You don't have to master them all at once. So the question I'll leave you with is this. Which one of these tools are you going to pick up and start sharpening today?